What did Jungkook really mean when he opened up about his future during his late-night Weverse live? Was he serious about marriage? Or was it a heartfelt joke meant to tease ARMY? Stay until the end because what you're about to hear will change how you see Jungkook forever. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if your heart skips a beat reading this story. Have you ever watched a live so unexpectedly emotional that it leaves you staring at your screen long after it ends? That was exactly what happened last night when BTS's golden magne Jungkook went live on Weverse out of nowhere. No teaser, no schedule, just Jungkook, bare-faced, warm-voiced, and full of emotions that felt like they had been bottled up for too long. The live began casually, almost playfully. He greeted ARMY with that soft, deep tone that always feels like a hug through the screen. But what followed next? It was something no one, not even the most devoted ARMY, could have predicted. Jungkook, sitting in a dimly lit room with a cup of coffee by his side, started reminiscing. He talked about music, life, and the quiet nights he spends reflecting on how far BTS has come. But suddenly, between laughter and a deep sigh, he said something that sent shockwaves across social media. "You know," he began, his lips curling into that signature half-smile, "sometimes I think about what my life will look like 10 years from now. Maybe BTS will still be performing, maybe I'll be doing something else, or maybe I'll be married." Yes, married. That one word, married, instantly set the internet ablaze. ARMY flooded the comments, hearts racing, fingers trembling, wondering if they heard it right. Was Jungkook hinting at something deeper? Or was it just his playful way of teasing the fandom he loves so much? He chuckled softly, his eyes glimmering with that familiar mischief. "Don't panic," he added quickly, waving his hand toward the camera as if to calm a storm that had already erupted. "I was just joking. Or maybe not." The room filled with his laughter, that boyish, carefree sound that's both comforting and confusing at once. But behind that laughter, there was something more. A trace of sincerity, a shadow of truth that left fans wondering if Jungkook's words carried a hidden message about his real plans for the future. As the live went on, Jungkook grew more reflective. He began to open up about how he sees himself in BTS in the coming years. "BTS is forever," he said softly, his voice steady but full of emotion. "Even if we're doing different things, our bond will never change. The world might change, the stage might change, but BTS, we're a family. Always." That line alone was enough to make ARMY tear up. Because for years, fans have watched Jungkook grow from a shy teenager into one of the most recognized artists in the world. Yet even now, he speaks of BTS with the same loyalty, the same warmth, as if nothing in fame or success could ever pull them apart. And then came the moment that made everyone's heart skip, when Jungkook leaned closer to the camera and whispered, "Sometimes I think if I ever get married, ARMY will be the first to know." The chat exploded. Thousands of hearts. Millions of what? And Jungkook in OO. Comments flying across the screen. But Jungkook just laughed again, covering his mouth shyly. I shouldn't have said that," he murmured. "You'll take it too seriously, right?" Was it another tease? Or was he trying to prepare fans for something real? A subtle way to say that he's thinking about the next chapter of his life. He continued, speaking honestly about how his mindset has shifted over the years. "I used to only think about performing, singing, and dancing," he admitted. "But now, I also think about peace, balance, and happiness. BTS gave me everything: love, strength, purpose. But I'm also learning that it's okay to dream of personal happiness too." The words hit hard. It wasn't just a casual confession. It was Jungkook, the global superstar, peeling away the glitter and showing the man underneath. Someone who's grateful, grounded, and quietly longing for a simple kind of joy that fame can't always offer. As the minutes passed, Jungkook sang softly a few lines of an unreleased song. The lyrics spoke of love, change, and holding on even when things shift. His voice cracked slightly, not from fatigue, but from the raw emotion flowing through every syllable. "I want to love sincerely," he said afterward. "In music, in life, in everything." Was that another clue? ARMY could feel it. The tenderness in his tone, the way he lingered on certain words. It was as if Jungkook was speaking not just as an idol, but as a human being ready to embrace whatever the future brings. Even if that future includes love, marriage, and a life beyond the stage. He smiled again, this time more gently. "Don't worry," he told his viewers. "I'm not going anywhere. BTS isn't going anywhere. But someday when the time comes, I hope you'll still be happy for me." The silence that followed was almost sacred. It wasn't the kind of silence that comes from awkwardness. It was the kind that comes when something meaningful has just been said. Jungkook looked at the screen, his eyes shining, and whispered, "You've all been my biggest love story. Always." And just like that, the live ended. No dramatic goodbye. No warning. Just a fade into darkness, leaving ARMY with hearts pounding, tears streaming, and minds racing with endless questions. What did he really mean? Was it just a joke? Or was Jungkook quietly preparing ARMY for a new chapter in his life? One where he finds love not just on stage, but in the real world too. Fans around the world are still buzzing, dissecting every second of the live, every smile, every word. Some say it was just Jungkook being playful. Others believe it was his way of dropping hints about something bigger. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: last night's Weverse Live wasn't just another casual chat. It was a heartfelt, vulnerable window into Jungkook's soul. He reminded ARMY that even idols dream, even stars have hearts that long for more than applause. And that maybe, just maybe, Jungkook's next great story isn't about fame, but about finding the kind of love that lasts long after the lights fade. So now the question remains: when Jungkook finally takes that next step, whether it's a new album, a solo journey, or even marriage, will ARMY be ready to cheer, cry, and love him all the same? Stay tuned, because if last night's live taught us anything, it's that Jungkook's story is far from over. In fact, it might just be beginning. The echoes of Jungkook's laughter still seem to hang in the air long after the live ended. ARMYs across the globe sat in stunned silence, staring at their screens, replaying that one line. "Maybe I'll be married." It wasn't just the word itself. It was the way he said it, soft, teasing, yet layered with something that felt real. Something that hinted at the quiet side of Jungkook that rarely comes out under the flashing lights of fame. Social media erupted almost instantly. Within minutes, Jungkook live, Jungkook marriage, and ARMY stay calm were trending worldwide. Clips from the live flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans posted screenshots of his smile, his laughter, his shy expression after saying the word married. Theories started pouring in like a tidal wave. Was Jungkook hinting at someone special? Was this his way of preparing ARMY for the idea that someday, he might not always belong entirely to the stage? Some fans wrote, "He's just teasing. That's our playful Jungkook." While others said, "No, you could feel it. He's growing up, he's thinking about his future seriously now." And honestly, both sides might be right. Because if there's one thing about Jungkook, it's that he's always been a balance of mystery and honesty. A man who hides behind jokes but always leaves a trace of truth in his words. What made last night's live even more powerful was the emotion that followed his joke. Jungkook didn't move on quickly or brush it off like a passing comment. Instead, he lingered. He talked about time, how fast it moves, how strange it feels to see himself growing older while still being called the youngest. There was a softness in his tone, a kind of nostalgia that only comes from someone who has been through years of love, fame, and constant spotlight. "I've been thinking a lot lately," he said, leaning his chin on his hand, eyes slightly distant. "When we were younger, all I wanted was to sing and dance. But now, I want to make memories that last even when I'm not on stage. I want to live fully. I want to love fully." Those words cut deep. Fans could feel the weight behind them. The sincerity of a man who has given his all for more than a decade, and who now dares to dream beyond the endless schedule of rehearsals and performances. Jungkook wasn't just an idol in that moment. He was human, vulnerable, thoughtful, and achingly real.